Good morning, everyone. It's 11 o'clock, and this is Observer Radio News. I'm Rima Ramoul with Amanda Lee and Selena Mann. In the weather, it's a cool 7 degrees outside our East York studios, and it's pouring, so make sure you grab that umbrella before you head outside. Now, here are the headlines. A 15-year-old boy makes a disturbing phone call to police. Cito Gaston, who returns to Toronto to manage the Jays, is already stirring up controversy. And Madonna is barred from adopting. Now on to our top local story. A 15-year-old boy made a disturbing phone call to police yesterday after what seems to have been a dispute between his parents ended in tragedy. CTV reported that the young boy stepped outside his house in the Kennedy and Eglinton area and called 911 from his cell phone, where he told dispatch, quote, "My dad is going to stab my mom." When police arrived on the scene, the boy's mother was lying dead on the floor and the father was holding a knife. It seems that an altercation then ensued between the suspect and the police, leaving one officer seriously injured. The suspect was shot in the abdomen and both men were taken to the hospital. The victim, Pamela Olara, had 3 other children who were in school at the time. As it turns out, one of the people arrested during the recent early morning gang raid was a woman working as a nurse by day and who cops accused of being a gun runner by night. Many of those caught in Wednesday's search appeared in court yesterday. Police arrested a total of 125 people during Project Fusion and laid numerous charges, including attempted murder. Guns and a substantial amount of drugs were also seized. Well, if you ride the subway or take the RT frequently, then you're probably familiar with the posters promoting Metrolinx's vision of a newer and sleeker transportation system. Well, the city is now receiving the money to turn that vision into a reality. Queen's Park recently announced $9 billion will go into building the new light rail transit system, which would link various parts of the city together. Surprisingly, though, it does not cover the Shepherd East line, which is supposed to be the first to be built out of the 7 lines. Improving service along Eglinton and Finch Avenues and making upgrades to the Scarborough RT are taking precedence. Regardless of this, more money should be flowing in at a later date, and the Shepherd line is expected to be built if everything goes according to plan. Now we move on to national news, where the leader of the federal Green Party is looking south of the border for a little inspiration. Elizabeth May says having Barack Obama as president will be a boost for the global environmental movement and may inspire little green thinking in Ottawa too. May was in Toronto for a meeting in the riding of St. Paul's. Karen Thompson reports.
Tonight, the Green Party's St. Paul's riding elects members for the 2009 year and discusses improving awareness in the area. Elizabeth May, the federal leader for the Greens, is a guest speaker. She applauds the efforts made in this riding. Her topic shifts to the Conservative Party and why it isn't focusing on a greener strategy and why Canadians look to Obama instead of Harper.
Barack Obama understands the science and recognizes that if we don't address the climate crisis, nothing else matters. And Stephen Harper doesn't think that the climate crisis is real. He just thinks it's a public relations problem, and his real goal is expanding the tar sands.
May is used to our government having similar policies with the United States. Now that Obama is president, things may start to shape up in a green way.
We were exactly in lockstep with George Bush in terms of climate policies with Stephen Harper. But Barack Obama is not George Bush, and for that we could all be grateful. But Canada should not be the last country on earth going into climate negotiations as if George Bush was our president.
Although there is support for climate and environmental change within the country, May says the government that is currently in place refuses to budge.
We have a parliament, and the majority of the votes in this country and the majority of MPs support real action on climate change. And unfortunately, we have a minority government that doesn't.
Geordie Gold is a Green campaigner and agrees with May that Canadians are looking to Obama for support instead of Harper.
People are watching him and with great interest and hope and probably wishing they saw a little bit more of that leadership in our country.
Gold thinks Obama is encouraging his government to take a greener approach to the economic crisis, something Harper isn't doing.
It appears that the Harper government is completely off on another planet trying to pursue a totally different agenda that really doesn't mesh at all with Green Party values.
The Green Party, which is over 5% of the vote in the federal election, hopes to gain more support in St. Paul's and across the country. They wish Obama will influence Harper's policies. Kieran Thompson, Observer News, Toronto.
And that's the latest local news. Now here's Amanda Lee with sports.
Thank you, Rima. Cito Gaston is returning to Toronto to try his hand at managing the Jays again. Gaston's return also brought out a few choice words for Roger Clemens, who Gaston describes as a not-so-nice person, using an expletive. Clemens, who played for the Toronto Blue Jays in 1997, influenced the club's decision to fire Gaston and bring in Tom Johnson, according to the book The Rocket That Fell to the Earth. Gaston says he's not surprised by the allegations made in Jeff Pearlman's book. Gaston says the pitcher was an all-star on the mound, but off the field he continually challenged Gaston's authority and was unsupportive of his teammates. Joe Carter is reuniting the 1992 and 1993 World Series winning teams on August 6th to 8th. The event is to raise money for the Children's Aid Foundation and the Jays Care charity. Carter stressed the importance of giving back to the community, which has given him so much in return. He says people still come up to him and tell him exactly where they were when the Jays won. The Jays are the first team to win a back-to-back World Series outside the U.S. Who knows when they'll win another one, so we might as well relive the glory days of the past. Detroit Piston Allen Iverson says he'd rather retire than be a reserve. After missing 16 games with a back injury, the 12-year veteran is back but is seeing more bench time these days. Iverson said Iverson only scored 4 points Wednesday night against the New Jersey Nets and blames only himself. He says he's not used to playing for such a short amount of time and he's going to have to adjust. But if he can't play like his former self again, Iverson wants to throw in the towel. Swimsuit season is just around the corner, forcing the masses to sweat it out and to get beach body ready. Running on a treadmill like a hamster just doesn't cut it for most people these days. A more stimulating way to trim down can be found at Steele's West Gym, and there isn't a dumbbell or a stair climber in sight. Jenna Conter has the story.
A good workout at Steele's West Gym begins with a warm-up on the trampoline. 4 years ago, this Center for Gymnastics started hosting evening drop-in sessions. Steele's West Gym is open to beginners interested in a good workout and also has the equipment for gymnasts to improve their skills. Alan Kang rents the space from the owner.
Unlike other open gyms, I run like a little warm-up and group kind of stretching, tumbling warm-up first, so just to make sure everyone has something to work on and they got the basics down. And I get the range of people. I get dancers, I get fight students, computer programmers, everyday Joes who just want to learn something new and different with their body.
The group warm-up lasts about 2 hours. The gym is then open for a variety of training opportunities. For clients like Alana Zatzman, there couldn't be a better way to keep her body in tip-top shape for her job as a stunt performer.
I am a stunt performer and a web graphics designer, and I go here for extra training. It's just good to have extra skills in other areas, and I'm not really skilled in this area, so learning something new is always fun.
Variety is the spice of life, and the people at Steele's West Gym take full advantage of these drop-in sessions. Adults over the age of 18 are welcome to check it out every Monday and Friday evening. Jenna Conter, Observer Radio News, Toronto.
Joanie Rochette is the third Canadian woman to land on the podium at the World Figure Skating Champions in LA. Congratulations go to the 23-year-old Quebec native who brought home a silver medal. Rochette said it's a dream come true and Canada is rejoicing with her. And for all you masochists out there, watch the Leafs play the Philadelphia Flyers tonight and not make it to the playoffs again. Stay with us after this commercial break for your entertainment news.
Whoa, this is going to be great.
Yeah, this thing goes really high, doesn't it?
If you're scared, just hang on me.
Oh!
Here do we go?
Honey, snap out of it. It's embarrassing. Ah! Playland, now open daily. Admissions include unlimited access to 25 rides.
Welcome back, and here's your entertainment news. A Malawi judge has rejected Madonna's adoption request. The singer was refused when she wanted to adopt a second child. She was rejected because she has not lived in the country long enough. Prospective parents must live in Malawi for at least 18 months before they are allowed to adopt a child. Madonna did not have to follow the residency rule for her first adoption from Malawi. It is not clear why she has to now. The FBI has been called in to investigate how Wolverine has been leaked onto the internet. The film, which has not been released yet in theaters, is downloadable online. The source of the incomplete copy will be punished to the fullest extent of the law. The movie is to be released in theaters May 1st. Ticketmaster is going to use paperless tickets for the Metallica concert in Winnipeg. This is the first time they are doing this. Ticketmaster hopes the electronic tickets will prevent scalping. Concertgoers will have to purchase tickets online first, then show photo ID, and swipe their credit cards at the concert venue. The show will be at the MTS Center on August 4th. These tickets will not be transferable. Adrienne Boudicoufer is celebrating her win at the Toronto Fashion Incubator's New Labels competition. The annual show features full collections from new designers across Canada, and the winner receives a spread in Elle Canada magazine and $10,000 towards their collection. Courtney Roberts has the story.
I'm here at Adrienne's studio in downtown Toronto, where models are waiting to be fitted for an upcoming show. Adrienne has been designing for 5 years and recently finished her first collection.
Well, my first collection was for Fall 08, and it was part of the New Labels competition. And so the collection itself was finished this past March, was when we had the last judging session of New Labels. The New Labels is a 4-month process. So you actually submit like the drawings of the collection, and then every month, periodically, you have to go in with 5 more outfits each time.
Her award-winning collection was actually inspired by the classy women of World War I.
The clothing actually changed out of necessity. Like skirts became shorter, like above the ankle for the first time in 100 years, just because the women were working, like doing this physical labor. So, and everything became a lot looser, but like still very like slim to the body, but kind of loose, because there were like sanctions on how much fabric could be used, because everything was really scarce.
For many fashion designers, there are no breaks. Adrienne is now working endlessly to draft her fall 2009 collection, which she hasn't yet put on paper.
It's going to be called The Last Woman Standing, and it's the kind of clothes that you would want to have in your wardrobe if the world was ending.
Adrienne has high hopes of becoming a renowned Canadian designer, much like Arthur Mendonça or the dynamic duo D Squared. Courtney Roberts, Observer Radio News, Toronto.
And that's all from me. Now let's send it back to Rima for the wrap.
Thanks, Selena. And that's the news for now. You can hear more coming up in about 15 minutes on the internet at ondemand.centennialcollege.ca. On behalf of all of us here at Observer Radio News, thanks for listening and have a great day.